What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, December 21st, 2024, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 21:14 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe and the Middle East. So early this morning or late last night, around 0400 Eastern Time, Ukraine issued an air raid alert across their entire country for the threat of an Oreshnik strike. Now, this alert was only active for about 15 to 30 minutes, and then the alert was called off, but there was intelligence that showed the movement of Oreshnik launchers in Kapustin Yar. Okay, so thank God Russia did not launch the Oreshniks this morning, but at around 4 a.m. Eastern Time, we were very close to another Icbm strike on Ukraine, and there was credible intelligence. I'm assuming Europe or the U.S. gave Ukraine satellite intelligence showing that these Oreshniks were being prepared to launch. For whatever reason, Russia did not launch them, but this is a sign that Russia is still planning another massive Oreshnik strike, and we had some more provocations by Ukraine, more escalation that may push Putin to launch a massive Oreshnik strike. So according to Ukrainian Telegram channels, Ukraine struck the barracks and dormitories housing Russian officers in the Kursk region of Russia yesterday. They used HIMARS, Icbm'S missiles. Okay, so another deep strike in Kursk, targeting the barracks and dorms of Russian officers. And I can tell you guys, the destruction was immense. I saw the video footage. Unfortunately, I cannot share that footage here on YouTube, but basically imagine an entire city block with all of the buildings rubbled. So some kind of massive Icbm's strike targeting Russian officers yesterday. Also early this morning, a drone hit a high-rise building deep inside of Russia in Kazan. At this time, it is unknown what the target was, but this was some kind of a Ukrainian drone hitting a high-rise office building in Kazan. And we're now hearing reports that Putin is going to be meeting with the Russian Security Council soon to deliberate about a suitable response for yesterday's Icbm strike on Kursk and today's drone attack in Kazan. We also have breaking news coming in from the Trump administration. So the Financial Times is reporting that Trump's team informed European countries that U.S. aid to Ukraine will continue. However, the Trump administration is going to demand that NATO countries increase their defense spending to 5% of GDP, okay, which is massive. I believe the only country coming close to that is Poland. I think Poland has just raised their defense spending to 5% of GDP for 2025. Okay, so major breaking news. The Trump administration will continue providing aid to Ukraine. What kind of aid that is and how much, we don't know. Okay, but apparently Trump's team has informed European capitals that they will continue providing support for Ukraine as long as NATO countries increase their defense spending to 5%. My guess is Trump probably did that to prevent the Europeans from panicking and to kind of tamp down all the panic spreading around social media that Trump is going to abandon Ukraine. And the commander of the Russian Nuclear Biological Chemical Warfare Division, who was assassinated by Ukraine, was awarded the title of Hero of Russia. And this was General Igor Kirillov. And I want to remind you guys that this commander was responsible in the early days of the war for the implementation of the TOS flamethrower system in Ukraine. That's the multiple launch rocket system that uses those special fuel air mixture warheads that can basically burn your lungs from the inside and cause massive pressure waves. He was also responsible for the implementation of various types of chemical weapons across Donetsk and Luhansk. And there was a new massive explosion seen in Kazan, Russia this evening, unrelated to the drone attack. This is coming in just about 2 to 3 hours ago. I saw the footage. It looked really bizarre. It almost looked like some kind of a missile strike. And there were also explosions reported at a Russian oil facility in Aryal, and also another explosion at an oil facility in Ryazan. And looks like they hit some kind of oil depots there, storage tanks. And there were also 4 explosions reported in the Rostov region of Russia earlier this evening. And after these explosions, the city was covered in a thick fog that had a pungent smell. And what you're looking at here is new video footage showing a train load of missile launchers coming into Russia from North Korea. Apparently, this is a batch of M1989 Koksan self-propelled guns and possibly the Pukuksong 2 medium-range ballistic missile launchers, which have a range of between 1,200 to 2,000 kilometers. Absolutely insane. So North Korea is providing Russia with more powerful weapons now. Okay, so it seems like North Korea is going to be really heavily involved in this war, more so than Belarus. Okay, they've already sent thousands and thousands of troops into Ukraine, and they've been slaughtered so far by the Ukrainians. Now they're sending medium-range ballistic missiles. Guys, this is the definition of a world war. We are watching the beginning of World War III, okay? When World War II broke out, nobody in the United States knew that this was the beginning of World War II. It was only 10, 20, 30 years later that historians finally admitted, oh yeah, that was a world war. But in 1939, when Hitler invaded Poland, nobody knew that that was going to kick off a world war, okay? Just like when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, nobody thought that that would kick off a world war. Everybody thought it would stay localized in Ukraine, but it's not. It's slowly escalating, guys, okay? Every single day, every single month, it's just escalating and escalating, and it's irreversible. It's not going to get any better under Trump. It's going to keep escalating, okay? The only thing Trump can do is potentially freeze the lines where they are, but Putin has already said that he's not going to go for that, okay? So it looks like the escalation is going to continue, and Russia has begun to strengthen their hangars at air bases. At the Belbek Air Base in Crimea, the Russians are building reinforced concrete and light frame structures for aircraft shelters. And there's also construction of fighter jet shelters underway at the military airfield in Primorsky Akhtarsk in the Krasnodar territory. Okay, so Russia's obviously paranoid about these Ukrainian drones and storm shadows, so now they're reinforcing their airfields. And the Slovakian Prime Minister, Robert Fico, will travel to Russia on December 23rd to meet with Putin. Wow. And Bill Burns, the director of the CIA, visited Ukraine today, and this was his last visit to Ukraine as CIA director. And earlier this evening, there were a whole bunch of explosions and fires in Moscow and St. Petersburg. Multiple banks, post offices, military recruiters, shopping malls, and police cars were targeted by unknown attackers. Wow. Maybe some kind of Ukrainian sleeper agents, maybe some partisans, we don't know. And the German defense minister said today that if Putin attacks, we need to be able to wage war. And earlier this week on Thursday, I went live with the inventor Lee Wheelbarger on his Rumble channel, KLW World News, and we discussed in detail the invasion of the Baltics and Suwalki Gap, which we believe is coming very soon. So we need to be on the lookout for this massive Oreshnik strike on Ukraine. We need to be on the lookout for a Russian attack on the Baltics and Poland. Okay? Things are only going to continue to escalate, guys. It doesn't matter who's president, whether it's Biden or Trump. It's going to continue to escalate. Putin is not going to stop. No matter who's in the White House, Putin will never stop, okay? He's a hardline Soviet. He was a colonel in the KGB. He joined the KGB as soon as he was legally old enough to do so. Okay, he signed up, I think, at the age of 17 or 18 in the USSR. It was basically his dream job when he was a kid. And then he was selected to go to the most elite spy school in the Soviet Union. And when he was in his younger years, he was managing the East Berlin, East Germany KGB offices, which is a pretty serious job. So Putin is a hardcore ex-Soviet, okay? Ex-Soviet spy. Keep that in your mind. All right, he's not going to back down. And a missile from Yemen reportedly struck a playground between several high-rise apartment buildings in central Tel Aviv last night. 16 civilians were injured. The IDF says that attempts to intercept the missile failed, and I have some video footage that I want to show you here. Okay, so this is probably one of the few times that the Israeli air defense system has failed. They launched 2 of these, I believe, David Sling missiles to intercept the Yemen missile, and it looks like they were unsuccessful for whatever reason in destroying this ballistic missile or hypersonic missile. We don't know what kind of missile it was, but here you can see these 2 interceptors, and then you're going to see the missile fly past them. So check this out. Okay, so you can see the Yemen or Houthi ballistic missile flying between these 2 interceptors, and it looks like those interceptors detonated, but they did not destroy the missile. Check it out. Okay, so, you know, air defenses are great, but air defenses are not 100% impervious, and no country should ever rely on their air defenses alone. That's not a way to defend your country. Even though Israel has the best in the world, it just proves to you that no air defense system in operation right now is 100% guaranteed to intercept missiles. Okay, maybe these new laser systems will be a lot better. Okay, but for now, looks like, you know, no system on Earth is 100% guaranteed to intercept missiles. And the Israeli Channel 12 is reporting that the Houthis placed less explosive material and more fuel in the missile that was launched last night for it to have had a better chance of reaching Israel while evading detection. And the Israeli Broadcasting Authority, citing security officials, reported that the Israeli military is preparing for another attack on Yemen, and this time they're going to try to get a coalition of other countries to join in. Okay, so probably the U.S., probably the U.K. And the Houthis threatened Israel with a propaganda picture on social media that showed the impact from the missile attack, with a caption stating, "The Yemenite sword will be thrust everywhere in Israel." And the U.S. Central Command announced that major strikes were carried out tonight against Houthi command and control centers and missile storage facilities in western Yemen, with the strikes involving both U.S. Air Force and Navy assets, including several F-18 Super Hornets from Carrier Air Wing 1 aboard the USS Harry Truman operating in the Red Sea. And the large number of Israeli jets were operating at low altitude over the Dan Block region of Israel this evening because of the threat of more attacks from Yemen. The city of Eilat was under air raid alerts. And this should have never happened, guys. Okay, if the Biden administration had annihilated Yemen months ago and annihilated all the Houthi missile sites and Houthi sites, then this would have never happened. And a large Israeli column is reported to be on the move in southern Israel, some tank columns on the move. And the Damascus government, led by Ahmed al-Shara, prevented an Iranian plane from flying over Syria and forced it to divert its route to Turkey in order to land in Lebanon. Interesting. So it looks like the new Syrian government is anti-Iran, and at least 11 people are dead, including a toddler, and dozens injured after a driver plowed into a German Christmas market. The suspect has been arrested. He's facing 200 counts of attempted murder. The suspect is a 50-year-old man and a doctor from Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia issued 3 warnings to German authorities about the Saudi citizen who attacked the people at this market. So very interesting situation there. And currently protests are underway in Germany following this attack. Absolutely evil and despicable and satanic, right before Christmas while people are shopping in a Christmas market. That is absolutely insane. And a report released by the U.S. Department of Defense earlier this week said that China is taking steps to prepare for an invasion of Taiwan. The document warned that the PLA is preparing a contingency to unify Taiwan via military might if deemed necessary. According to the report, China has a range of options to coerce Taipei. Examples include a joint blockade campaign, a limited force campaign, joint firepower strikes, and an amphibious invasion. The report pointed out that an amphibious invasion of Taiwan would be one of the most complicated and difficult military operations for the PLA. Nevertheless, it said PLA amphibious brigades in 2023 carried out realistic large-scale amphibious operations that are almost certainly aimed at supporting a Taiwan invasion scenario. And just recently, China practiced blockading Taiwan, okay? And U.S. President Joe Biden approved a $500 million aid package for Taiwan on Friday. And Trump is considering bringing back the Panama Canal under the control of the U.S. That is absolutely huge. But guys, that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. I will be in and out of the 24/7 live stream tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is EMP Shield. Guys, I'm proud to announce that I'm going to be partnering with EMP Shield. They have just given me a special discount code just for my subscribers. If you go to EMPshield.com and use the code NYPrepper when you check out, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Good for anything on their website. They're also doing a Cyber Monday sale. Guys, the threat of an EMP has never been higher, and you need to protect your vehicle and critical electronics. The EMP Shield is a device that protects your vehicle's computer or electronics by installing in line with the electrical system. The EMP Shield has passed rigorous military testing and is compliant with several military standards. They're also IP66 weatherproof and made in the USA. They can be used to protect your ham radio base stations, your RV, your camper, your solar generator, and various other things in addition to your vehicle. So go to EMPshield.com, use the discount code NYPrepper to get 15% off, and the link and the discount code are in the description below this video.